Hi there, Kirsty here from Uploads, and I am going to be stepping you through how to quantify what your living expenses are. Now, whenever you go for a home loan application, it's really important to show your broker or your bank what your day to day living expenses are. There's a couple of different ways to look at doing this. Number one, you might want to use this as an exercise to get ready for finance right now. In which case, what I would encourage you to do as you're going through the living expenses document is to put on there the essentials of life. If you've got a vehicle, you need to pay for petrol, service it. If you're going to have a house, you need to pay for electricity rates, you need to pay for food. You do not necessarily need the really cool green country road top that you've seen your mate wearing down the street. That's an optional extra. And you do not need, although you may love to do regular charitable donations. You do not need to go on a holiday. You do not need a bunch of stuff that we all pay for. So if you're preparing this living expenses to get ready for a finance application, put your essentials on here, leave your discretionary spending off. If you're not really ready to go for a finance application and you're using this living expenses calculator to try and work out a budget, that's another really good thing that you can do with it as well. So what I would encourage you to do then is to map out what you would hope that you would be spending, and then take the next 1, 2, 3, 6 months, however long it takes you, to actually have a think about, what am I actually spending? I've said here that I can live on $1,300 a month, or if I'm, a family of 4, 3,800 a month, or whatever it is. Why am I not being left over with the amount that I should be left over? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I am going to step you through our living expenses calculator. Now, I built this one myself and I've tried to make it nice and easy and straightforward. So what you would do is you would put your name at the top there, nice and simple, and then you would go through each section and categorize your spend. So for example, section 1 is utilities for your own home. Now, if you are going to buy your own home, but you don't own one yet, don't worry, you still need to put these in. We still need to estimate them. So what I might be thinking is, look, my council rates are going to be $2,000 a year, and my electricity is going to be $500 a quarter. And my water, let's say like $50 a month for that. Okay, so what I can do is I can put figures in weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, but I'm not going to put them in every single field. That's a little trick for new players with this living expenses calculator. But what it's going to do then is it's going to break it down into a monthly total for me. Looking at the end here, we can see this is yellow and it says a little code down here. If you're purchasing an owner-occupier property, please use an estimate. All right, transport. If I have a vehicle, I need to worry about my petrol. Let's say my petrol is $30 a fortnight. Let's say my car maintenance is $100 for servicing. And let's say my registration is $600. Again, I'm just using random figures here so that we're ready to go and we have those in there. All right, food and housekeeping. So maybe I'm going to put down that I'm spending $100 a fortnight for my basic household goods and cleaning. Again, if you're using this as a budgeting template, don't be afraid to go back and look at it and go, oh my gosh, we're actually spending $150 on food. That's because we like organic food, or far out, we went nuts and just bought a whole bunch of really expensive tea that week. All right, that's just me. Who probably does that? You can see here these red fields here. If we look down at the code, they're compulsory fields. Everybody needs to put in something for here. So clothing, personal care, haircuts, I might decide that that's $50 a month as far as essentials for me. My phone subscription might be $70 a month, but then my internet's also another $30. So I go, oh, okay, that should be $100 a month. Eating out, what's my, my budget for that? I might say it's $50 a fortnight. If I don't have any childcare or government rebates, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 0 for that. For example, I'm not just going to leave it blank, or I might just put in a little note here that says no childcare family arrangements. You can put notes in this as well. Education expenses. Again, if I have no education expenses, I'm going to put in a 0. But if I do have education expenses, I might put in, look, $500 for uniforms and for books throughout the year. Medical expenses, really important to note for private health insurance here. So say my private health insurance is $80 a month, I'll pop that in, and then maybe I have another $50 a year worth of things like Band-Aids and Panadol, those sorts of things. Or if I had ongoing medicine that was, say, $200 a quarter, I'd pop it in like that. Um, Insurance. So we need to include home and contents, even if we don't have the house yet, car and life insurance. So if my life insurance is paid through super, I won't pop it in here because I don't pay it out of my, my income that's coming to me. But let's say my car insurance was $800 a year and my home insurance was, say, $300 a quarter. So I can pop all of those figures in here. If I'm currently renting, I'll put that figure in. Maybe I'm renting at $350 a week. And if I'm paying child maintenance or support, I'll pop it in here. If I'm receiving it, I won't pop it in here because this is my living expenses calculator. Any other ongoing expenses, again, remembering to remove things like gift giving, unless you're doing this purely for budgeting purposes, but if it's for a bank's purposes, you remove the non-essential stuff. And then if I have an investment property or a second home, I'll pop in expenses there. What that will do is it'll give me an annual total and a monthly total there. And again, what you can do is you can then use this to go back and budget if you are getting ready for home ownership, or you can actually use it to basically look at and go, okay, this is what I'm giving to the bank. Is this, realistic? Have I missed any categories? So hopefully that helps explain our living expenses calculator. Please reach out if you have any questions or queries.